Sometimes you just hate looking at yourself when you're trying to do video. I keep focusing to the top of my head and it's annoying me. I have naturally wavy hair. And so when it's in this stage and starting to grow out, it's like has a mind of its own. I wish I had more over here though, but let's face it, it ain't happening. I do have this oil that I got from either Eden's Garden or Vitality. It's supposed to be like a hair growth oil. I haven't tried it yet. Shall I? I don't know. Here's the problem. It'll be greasy and then I'd have to put like a cap on it so it could stay overnight on my hair. And then you gotta wash it out and you don't want to ruin your pillowcase or your pillow because like I said once before in my pillow thing that it's your body oils and such that can destroy synthetic poofiness like in pillows and mattresses, etc. Anyway, I was thinking about my grandparents' farm. It's gone. It's gone forever. Only the pond remains, and that's behind the Target in Somersworth, New Hampshire. I won't say the word. I want to call them something that destroyed my grandfather's farm. Well, my uncle sold it. He couldn't afford the taxes anymore. They were deliberately trying to drive him out because he was on the main strip. My uncle got the farm from my grandfather. And my uncle got like $2 million for it or something. Yeah. Anyway, I was a little girl and I'd sleep over at my grandmother's farm and grandparents' farm, and I'd wake up in the morning and go outside early, and dew was everywhere, and across the fields it had a smokiness down near the plants, smoky look, fog, I guess, and all these little cobwebs everywhere, and the little dewdrops stuck in it and kind of glistened and was like magic, like magic. And I'd walk down the farm road toward the pond, and I don't know, it just felt like I was the only person in the world left there walking down that road. The quiet and the sound of birds, the humming of bugs. It is a beautiful, beautiful place. I like to go and hide in the deep corn when it would grow up really high before the ears started to come on. And there was this other stuff he grew. I don't know what it was. Some sort of grain, I think. And it'd be on the hillside, and the wind would blow through it. And I'd go in there sometimes. I'd just sit inside of it. And then sometimes I went over across the way. It was all sand dune. It was so bizarre. It's the sand dunes, I think the guy next door, he sold gravel and such and made part of his land like gravel pits. But just before that was the farm stand where my grandfather sold his vegetables and such. Berries, raspberries, strawberries. He had the world's best tomatoes, I'm telling you. People came from Massachusetts to get his stuff. He was a good farmer. Had a very bad back. But he still was on that tracker, boy. I remember my brother and some of the other cousins worked on the farm. They didn't get paid very much. I feel for one of my brothers. He was very bitter because he worked his butt off at that farm and his grandfather left him nothing. My uncle gave each of us $2,000. They were 22 cousins. But for my brother, it was a slap in the face to him. That's the way it goes, doesn't it? I don't feel bitter about it. I was grateful. I needed that $2,000, and I thought it was a nice gesture. I wasn't expecting to get anything. But I just was thinking about the farm. Mornings coming down the staircase of that funny little pink. It was a pink farmhouse. What a funny little place. It had a wraparound closed porch, all windows, and there's always a little bed, a little twin bed in a closet. I don't know what that bed was there for. Probably company or sleeping outside, like in the breeze. There's no air conditioning back then. In the breeze in the summertime, I guess someone could sleep on that porch. It would get sweltering hot in the summer upstairs. Oh, mercy. Sometimes my cousin Linda and I, we'd both get to sleep over there together, and we'd be up in that one little room. Oh God, we were so crazy. I won't even mention half of it, but we'd stay awake at night, and it would be sweltering hot, and the windows would be open. There'd be no fan, and she'd start to tell me about how her father, they lived in Rochester, New Hampshire. They had a farm too. And she said how her father would take them like around midnight to the community swimming pool. They would stay open all night on hot nights. And they'd go swimming, and she'd tell me about how refreshing and cool the water would feel. And there we were sweating our butts off in that bed and wishing for a breeze, and I'd think about how that would feel, being in cool water when it was so hot. And then they'd go home, and all cooled off, she was able to sleep. I liked that story. My family never did anything like that. My family was boring. We used to go, my mother loved the Green Mountains, and I wouldn't see the White Mountains of New Hampshire till I was in my teens, and my brother took me up there to see it. Loved it. I don't understand why we never went to the White Mountains, and if we did, I don't remember. Maybe we had, because I do remember having a little brown bear from Clark's Trading Post, so I think we had gone up there once, and I remember a petting zoo. I have pictures of that. But in my teens, we always went to the Green Mountains. Just a day ride, which I found boring after a while. I didn't want to go after a while, It was like, it takes forever to get up there. Now I do anything to be there. There's this hairpin turn. It's really sharp. And going up into the, what's the name of that? The Mohawk Trail. There were these wonderful gift shops. We'd stop in the gift shops, and there was so many cool little things back then. Things were made in the USA back then, and they were crafty and artsy and just different than what you get today. Made in China, made wherever, but not made here. I just remember, and we went into this antique store once, and there was this beautiful old music box, and it had a carnival type, the horses, the carousel, that banging, musical, melodious sound. I don't know how else to describe it. And it played music like that and was gorgeous, and I wished I could have it. Very expensive, I remember, very unusual, probably worth a fortune today. Wish we would have bought it, but we were a middle-class family growing up, not upper, just below. We could have been upper, but my father refused this position in Ohio. We had moved there. He worked for Sun Rubber Corporation, who made the hoppity balls. I think I mentioned that before. And my mother missed home and wanted to go home. So my father accommodated her, and we left Ohio and came back to New Hampshire. But they were offering him so much money that we were going to be able to live in the beautiful, rich neighborhood of Fairlawn in Akron, Ohio. Pretty sure it was Akron or maybe Cleveland. I don't know, one of those towns. I thought we lived very close to Akron because I remember Hallie's 7th floor. Talk about magical. Oh my gosh, every Christmas, Hallie's department store had the 7th floor. And only at Christmas time. And it was this winter wonderland, and the toys, and there was this big gigantic table that you could watch all the little mechanical toys do their stuff. I loved that. And then there was Santa, and just big beautiful arches of lights and poinsettias greenery, and all the trees lit up, white trees, green trees, silver trees. It was beautiful, just beautiful. It made the holiday more magical than anything. I never got anything grand at Christmas, but it felt like I did, you know. One time I got this little doll furniture set. It was all purple pieces, and it was furniture for the whole house, but I didn't have a dollhouse. I used to use my mother's, she had this vacuum cleaner box. It looked like a white case and said Eureka on the top, and it had the little, the little flip down closures. I can't think of the word now. And I would take it and open it, and I would use my blocks to hold the lid up as my 2nd floor, and then the regular case was there, and I'd set up my living room and kitchen in the case, and then I'd put bedrooms up on the 2nd floor. I had such an imagination. I didn't have real dolls. I would use Tootie. Remember Tootie? I never got Todd, but I got Tootie. And I had a little, what the heck was that other little doll I had? I don't remember, but I had little dolls, and they fit the furniture perfectly, and so I would just pretend. And I always liked to pretend it was Christmas. On rainy days, I wanted to pretend it was Christmas, and I had a little tiny tree for my mother's decorations with little red balls, and it had little white snow on it, and I would wrap little things up in paper and put them under the tree. Just being a kid. You don't realize when you're a kid how simple life is. Sometimes it seems so complicated, like school. I hated school. I didn't like school. I love to learn and I love to read, but I do not like to be stuck behind a desk. That's why when Dennis came along, and I worked for myself then cleaning, and he joined me because he wasn't really doing anything at that time. He was on unemployment. I don't know, if there was a freedom in being able to come and go as we pleased and work for ourselves. And then we found the antique shows, and that was even more freeing because now we get to roam and travel and set up, and we weren't cleaning anyone's house. We weren't expected. We were just, I don't know. I can't explain it except to say that it was the most freeing experience of my life. And the money came rolling in because he sold stuff cheap. He just wanted to make a profit. He wouldn't look things up. Sometimes, if something was unusual, he'd make up prices in his head. And Dennis. Well, that's what I was thinking about today. just thinking about the farm, about being a kid. Bonnie's awful sick. I woke up last night to go to the bathroom and the lights were on in the kitchen and she said, "I'm in here, Mom." I said, "What's up?" She says, "Don't come in." I'm like, "Okay." She said, "I have a fever. I'm going to take some medicine." My poor girl. Today's Thursday, isn't it? And she's supposed to leave tomorrow night and she's sick. I don't know, maybe she can ask the airline to push her flight ahead a few days because she has a fever. We'll see what happens today. I hope they'll accommodate her without any extra fees. Well, think about my girl. Offer up some wishes for her. My head, it feels so awful. It just pressure, you know. I had a leftover bottle of doxycycline that I've never used, and I started using it because my mucus is starting to turn, and I have so much pressure in here, and I know when it's become an infection, you know. So I'm going to start taking that, and I'll finish the bottle. I started it last night. That's pretty much it. My morning chat. I have a little bit of coffee left, but it's cold. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And I'll see you tomorrow. Fate willing, God willing, universe willing. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.